say people who are good at getting attention, what does that mean? How do they do it?
Well, for instance, Mike Arrington, if you look at the blogs I'm watching 700 bloggers, actually more than that, because some of the feeds have thousands of people on one feed, thousands of like blogs.msdn is all the Microsoft bloggers, which is about 3,000 people. And I'm watching those, and I'm looking for what's interesting out of them. So out of 1,300 items a night, I only share 80. So the bar is, there's a lot of content that doesn't get on my link blog, right? In other words, the people who get on my link blog a lot are really good at getting attention, are good at putting news out there that's better than the next guy. For instance, Mike Arrington at TechCrunch got very popular by putting a logo or a graphic or a screenshot in every item. That wasn't common practice when he started, and that's what made him stick out, right? Today, if you put video on your blog post, that makes you stick out because that makes you more authoritative, and I can actually spend some more time watching your video. And if you have more links in the content, that's better. Also, if you're better at networking, right? So you go to a conference, and if you can get people to meet you and talk with you, you're going to get more links that way. And also, if you get on stage, you're going to get more links, right? Because you're an authority. You're on stage at a conference rather than just in the audience. So all those things add up, to getting more audience attention. And the people who are good at it, will rise to the top eventually.
So looking at this revolution kind of in its whole, what direction are we headed? Are we headed towards, don't use the bubble word, or are we headed towards even more innovation, or is there going to be some time when people have to take what's been innovated and digest it and deal with it? Where are we in this process?
Well, I was just at Fortune Magazine's online conference. And they talked about several trends that are happening. They said there's a lot more money coming out of traditional advertising, so off of traditional TV advertising, traditional newspaper advertising, traditional magazine advertising, and these companies now are shifting their budgets onto online because they see the online audiences. The audiences are moving off of traditional media and onto online media. You see the birth of MySpace over the last 3 years. And how popular that's gotten, or Facebook, or what are some of the other popular ones? I mean, YouTube. YouTube didn't exist, 2 or 3 years ago, and now there's millions of people. I know one guy who posted a video and got 6 million downloads in 6 days. If you search YouTube for Will It Blend, it's a blender company up in Utah who just put out a video with a cheap video camera, and just as a lark, as something funny, and they got huge distribution because people thought it was funny and started linking to it and talking about it on their blogs and telling their friends about it and emailing it around.
And did they sell more blenders?
Oh, their sales have gone up. I don't know the exact number, but if I remember right, it was 10,000%. I mean, a factor of 10 times more sales. It's a dramatic change because when that many people see your product, particularly when they're blending rake handles and marbles and iPods, right? Well, if it can blend a rake handle, it can do a damn good margarita, right? And most people buy a blender for doing margaritas, not to blend their rake handles,
Now, you've kind of seen both ends of this, both as an enthusiast and as a representative for one of the biggest, baddest corporations in America.
Yep.
As corporate America starts to take notice to this and start to move into this kind of space, what kind of conflicts are we starting to see with the original sort of folks that were there to begin with, and what does that mean for where we move forward?
Well, there's a lot of conflicts. Inside big companies, I speak to a lot of big companies, so it's not just Microsoft. They're scared of this world because they can't control it. They never really had control, but when they could build a relationship with one person, at least they had some semblance, oh, this guy's not going to burn me and report something that wasn't truthful or whatnot. This new world, some kid in Australia with 6 readers could report something about you and in 24 hours get on the front page of the New York Times. That's really disruptive and scary to PR people. They don't know what to do with this world. What do you mean I have to listen to some kid in Australia with 6 readers who I don't even know? In fact, look at how I quit Microsoft, right? I told 15 people at a conference, and I told them not, and this was on a Saturday, I told them not to tell anybody until Tuesday. And within 48 hours, Wagner Edstrom was tracking all the media mentions. They said I had 50 million media impressions. the guy who broke the story, I didn't even know, right? So you know, the story about you could break anywhere on any number of places. It could break on MySpace or LiveJournal or Facebook or on WordPress.com. And you don't know where the story is going to break. You don't have a relationship oftentimes with the person who's going to break the story. So that requires you to have different skill sets. It requires you to listen to what's going on and understand how to use blog search engines like Technorati and Google Blog Search to read what's being written about you and then interact with it. And PR people aren't real familiar with that. They weren't taught that in schools. You know, PR people. At San Jose State, they have a good PR department. They teach you how to, you know, try to affect the news, the traditional news, how to get into the New York Times or how to get on KRON TV. They don't teach you how to get some kid in Australia with 6 readers to talk about you, and they certainly don't teach you how to react to him if he's writing about you, you know, and how to be out there and you know, interacting with them. So we need a different skill set now to deal with this new world that's a global world in the size of a little page, and that is rapidly moving. I mean, you see stories go, you know, from small little blogs that you don't know about to the front page of big newspapers and, you know, TV news within hours now.